The title of this article, Kenny Veach, Wikipedia. YouTuber vanished in the desert, mysterious disappearance story after he found the M cave. Now, I know it says Wikipedia, but this isn't on the official Wikipedia website, so I don't know if they sourced it out, but we'll read it anyway. Kenny Veach, an explorer who disappeared mysteriously, has been searched on Wikipedia. The YouTuber and hiker Kenny disappeared mysteriously in the desert on November the 10th, 2014. Yep, that checks out from what we've heard. Kenny Veach's mysterious disappearance is still unsolved yet. He was an explorer who discovered the M cave within the Mojave Desert. Yep. The hiker uploaded his videos on his YouTube account under the name Snakebitmgee with 42.9k subscribers. He uploaded a video entitled M Cave Hike on October 18th, 2014 on his account. Correct. A few weeks before his disappearance, Kenny claimed himself as the bravest and boldest hiker out there. He revealed that he had never taken anyone with him on such dangerous journeys. Well, I don't know if that's, quote, word for word exactly what he said, because I don't remember him saying he's the bravest and boldest in his comment he said. He did kind of like boast about how dangerous some of his hikes have been and how he restricted himself with certain supplies, resources and stuff like that. The bit where it says he's never taken anyone with him. Well, kind of, but there is video or like pictures of Kenny with the supposed girlfriend Sharon on some hikes. Maybe they're not on the most dangerous ones, but there is pictures, I guess, in the documentary of Kenny Veach and on Sharon's channel where they're out there on mountains with the hiking sticks. So he did take people with him in the past. And I think maybe even the nephew, Hunter Veach, went on the odd hike. So yeah. The 47-year-old seasoned solo hiker spent most of his time exploring new paths. Mainly, he explored the desert in Nevada and California. So that's interesting, bringing up about California. Is that to do with that one video on his Facebook page at the time where he had a camera set up and he was stood there with his 2 hiking sticks and that backpack and the hat? Was that the one in California? I might be wrong. Or was that Utah? But the bit where it says exploring new paths, not exactly true, because he went off the beaten path at times and he did it himself. He went off. He didn't like using the standard public main pathways. He wanted to explore for himself. So that's not exactly true what's been written here. Kenny Veach, Wikipedia. Netizens. What does netizens mean? I don't know what that means. Does that mean citizens of Nevada have searched Kenny Veach on Wikipedia after his disappearance news flooded on the internet? But it didn't really flood on the internet, did it? Because there's only so much material and coverage, lacking news reports and information from the search team, so a bit exaggerated. However, the explorer is not available on Wikipedia. However, many social sites have covered his disappearance news. The solo adventurer explored most of the deserts in Nevada and California. Among all the adventures, M Cave was his mysterious and life-taking adventure, which he found in the second time of the search. Wait, the second time? What, so he went there, then he went again and found it, and then he said he was going to go back out, record it, couldn't find it, and then he went back out one more time. I thought he found... I don't know if that's exactly true, that. Anyway, where are we? Second time. The story begins in a highly classified area known as Area 51, a US Air Force base camp. Not exactly true, because the hike, the search location for the cave where the cave supposedly was or is, it's not within Area 51, nor is it on restricted land, so that's not true. As reported on Fresh Edits, Kenny wrote that he felt the vibration as he got to the cave's entrance. He revealed that the M Cave was the experience of the most frightening adventure he had. Well, yeah, he did say it was scary. Is Kenny Veach found 2021 dead or alive? No, Kenny Veach is not found yet in 2021. He might be dead or alive with no clue. Well, so far it's not mentioned anything about the potential CCTV footage of Kenny, and that family members confirmed it was him. They could at least added that into this because it's 2021, and in 2021 we did look and we did cover the CCTV footage that year, so they should have mentioned it here. His clueless disappearance made people think the story was just a hoax. The confusing case creates the buzz to be an internet hoax. However, the rescue team found his phone behind. True. What else? It's worth noting that he didn't bring his camera and left his phone at home on his last trip. Without a doubt, the missing story turned out to be Sharon's suicide theory. Wait, hold on a minute. So the rescue team found his phone, but then afterwards it says he left his phone at home on his last trip. Well, what does he mean by that? Does he mean his last trip when he went out there and recorded himself with the camera on his YouTube channel? Are they referring to that on the day when he didn't take his phone? Or does this article mean he didn't take his phone on his last hike, the one where he disappeared, supposedly? Because that's kind of contradicting, isn't it? Because the search team did find his phone. The bit where it says about he didn't bring his camera on his last trip, well, it referring to the YouTube video then, well, obviously he did take his camera to record himself. So that rules out the phone one. You know what I'm saying? So it must be referring to his final hike. So they do contradict themselves within this with the mobile phone, because search team did find it. And from what the girlfriend said, he did actually take a camera, but not a camcorder, just a camera for taking photos. That's not been included here. Linking on to the suicide theory. Sharon, right, okay, so that's spelt wrong. So some of this is making me think, is this person of a certain age? You know, with the spelling mistakes. I might be wrong, but just an observation. Sharon Pilgrim was his girlfriend, who believed that his death was not accidental but pre-planned suicide. He explained how Kenny was entertaining the idea of suicide a few weeks before his disappearance. Right, okay. Pre-planned suicide, entertaining the idea. What? He was like making it some kind of joke or something, or some kind of fun idea. I don't know how it's supposed to be worded that. Veach started commenting on the popular video site YouTube that he had found a mysterious cave cloaked in oddity out in the Nevada desert in the Sheep Mountains, located within the national near Nellis Air Force Base. It's not near Nellis Air Force Base, it's, what do you call it, military restricted land, Nellis test range, bombing range. You know, Nellis Air Force Base, the actual Air Force Base is like, 20 miles away, and it's in the outer skirts of the city, so there's a difference. There's a big difference in terms of distance. Once again, it's that mistake made. And we've seen it in just about every article so far. Have I forgotten or missed anything out? I mean, you haven't gone too deep with the suicide theory yet, but that might change. Kenny Veach's girlfriend, Sharon... Okay. Kenny Veach left behind his girlfriend Sharon Pilgrim, who believed in suicide theory. That it just sounds a bit silly the way that's been worded. He left behind a girlfriend. What? Okay, maybe I misread it. It sounded like he left her behind as if he was driving off onto a hike and forgot to take her with her. That's the way I read it then. No, I guess in a more serious way it means took his life and disregarded Sharon. I guess that might be what it meant. Anyway, as recorded in Nevada, his girlfriend posted the following comment on his M Cave hike video. She explained how much Kenny loved hiking and was desperate for hiking. He was a fearless hiker. He was desperate for hiking. I don't think he was desperate. He was determined. He was passionate, but not desperate. I mean, financially, he might have been desperate, and that's what led him to do certain things, but not the one thing he liked doing. Kenny Veach, as described by his girlfriend, was a hiker who roamed the deserts of Nevada, trips that his girlfriend Sharon would attend with him. However, in November 2014, this would soon change for the worse. Right, so once again, kind of contradicted, because now they're saying, oh, he did take his girlfriend with him, even though it was said earlier on that he never takes anyone. Maybe it looks like it's a quote by someone, Sanderson, whoever that is. So I guess the article, the writer of whatever, is quoting what other people have said. I guess that makes more sense. There's no quotation marks, really, so it's a bit more difficult to read. But MK was the most fearful hiking for him. His body shook before entering, we've seen that. Commenting on his channel, she said that she wanted to share what she knew and felt about the story behind his disappearance unexpectedly. She shared Kenny's deepened depression. Kenny's father committed suicide when he was around 20s. Okay. Is that it? Oh. Okay, so that was that article. I guess in comparison to some of the others I've researched, that's probably one of the shorter ones, to be fair, so I just thought I'd share that with you now. You can leave a comment down below. I don't think it was the best one, I'll be honest, in terms of maybe narration, but the actual content, the material within that article itself, because it was more of a brief one, you know what I'm saying? A brief one without going too deep into all the other theories and ideas, which maybe sometimes isn't a bad thing, because then it's a bit clearer to understand and just get the basic concept of the case, the story. But I think what hasn't done any favours is the odd bit of misinformation, like with the phone, the camera, Nevada, Nellis Air Force Base, stuff like that, and Kenny's attitude towards hiking being desperate. No. No key points mentioned about the scent or the timing of when he was reported missing, which is important stuff, or like when he was last seen. It's interesting though, which it hasn't done compared to other articles, I guess, is just the heading where it said, "Is he alive? 2021." And I assume that's like some kind of like update maybe to the article, or if it was written in 2021 and they said, right, at this moment in time, where we at, where do we stand? Is he alive, yes or no? It doesn't really say. I think it just said no. But where's the evidence to prove that he is dead? There isn't. Where is his remains? Where's the gun he used? Where's the bullet casings? Stuff like that. I mean, you can also put the point forward and say, but then where is he? Where's pictures, footage of him alive past 2014? There isn't any. Depending where you look, there isn't much. So it's like, oh. But it's one of those things. There's not really any evidence to prove he's dead. There's not as much evidence to prove he's alive. If you, put aside the CCTV footage, because people kind of mixed about that. But they could have at least provided that CCTV coverage to say, 2021, is he alive, yes or no? We're not sure. But in recent time, during this year, there was findings of potential CCTV footage of an individual that looked like Kenny or was confirmed by family members as Kenny. Could have provided that at least as an update, but they didn't. It might have been the month they wrote it, and that's why I didn't include it, but it didn't mention anything about like other hikers, Sharon or anything like that, because some articles have done that. So yeah, just a brief one. Hopefully the next one's a bit more rich with information, okay? So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching and goodbye.